There's a lot to my story that I've been nervous to share. It's a scary thing to unpack your shadows in front of others to see, to judge, to pick apart. But I'm working on embracing all the layers of who I am, who I was, and who I want to become. I am a 34-year-old Filipino woman, born and raised in sunny Southern California. And it wasn't until last year that I had the profound realization that I am myself a person of color, that my brown skin means something in this country and in society. How is it possible that I lived so long without connecting those dots? Will people think differently of me if I share my past, my ignorance of privilege? Will all the work I've been doing and commit to continue doing mean nothing? Beneath the surface is an intricate system of false beliefs and truths I have anchored over time, and I'm trying to make sense of it all. It's like climbing a tall tree, getting to the top and not knowing how to get back down, or unraveling a deeply tangled and knotted rope. How can I undo any of this? The knots are too tight, the branches are too far for me to reach. But the only way down is branch by branch. The only way to untangle is undoing it knot by knot. So I begin the work of undoing. Growing up, I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to entertain. Big dreams for this young, naive Filipino girl. But the people on the big screens and magazine covers didn't look like me. And if they did, they were light-skinned Asians, typically not Filipino, and there was usually only one, a token Asian. And whether I made this connection back then or not, now I see how I socially positioned myself. I wanted to be the token Asian person. I wanted to be welcomed with open arms despite my brown skin. Brown skin that I hated so much. I just wanted to be white. I was a child with a tangled identity. But no matter how many white people I surrounded myself with, I would still just be the token Asian. Even if I laughed along with the racist jokes, nodded along with the problematic comments, I would still be told, "You're one of the cool ones, Pauline." I was confused. I thought I was one of you. I assimilated and I was still othered. But oh well, I guess I should be proud to be one of the cool ones who could take a joke, who could stay silent. So then what is my identity at this point? I have shunned and rejected anything about the Filipino culture or language. Not Filipino enough. I chose to surround myself with white people for most of my life. Not Asian enough. I have brown skin and people always ask me where I'm really from. Not American enough. I had to face the truth of anti-Blackness within my own Filipino culture. And the more I learned about anti-Blackness, the more I learned about white supremacy. Did I just trigger you? Good, because it used to trigger me. So let's talk about it. See, I used to think of white supremacy as the KKK or white nationalist groups committing acts of violence. I would shake my head and think, wow, America used to be a scary place. Good thing we don't have that anymore. I thought white supremacy equals really bad, evil people, and that was it. But now I understand there's more to it. That it lived within my own belief structure for so long, and that it's more common than I had ever imagined. It's me as a child and all my idols, the posters on my wall, being white people. It's me being told not to stay in the sun for too long so I don't get too dark. It's all the skin whitening products sold in Philippines and even being used in my own house growing up. It's all the professors, teachers, and mentors who made an impact on me, being white people. It's me wishing I was a white, blonde, blue-eyed girl for all my life. Think about all this like a little seed planted into my young brain that grew and grew into my reality. Be more white, be more happy. Be more white, be more beautiful. Assimilate, and be rewarded. When I stepped out of my vacuum perspective, it became impossible for me to continue standing in the middle of the road. If we continue to deny that we as a society have this unspoken understanding that whiteness is the standard and is the norm, then how can we ever stand in solidarity with each other? How can we ever pivot towards an equal society? We deny and we deny and we deny. We blame it all on the media, the politicians. It's a false agenda being pushed to keep us in our place, hold us in our fear. But who are you trying to convince? People who set the standard, or people who look like me? I don't have a lot of answers to these questions. So for now, I continue to listen, unlearn, and relearn. The experience of uprooting and working through this trauma comes in waves of emotions. Shame, guilt, embarrassment, anger, pain, discomfort. But then comes empowerment, inspiration, healing, growth, and hope. I recognize now that speaking up and sharing is a key part to healing. Healing will allow me to release energy that no longer serves, and allow me to forgive. I do this not just for me, but for my family and community as well. I'm still working on accepting all the facets of this journey. I'm still working on taking ownership of and embracing my shadows. We see shadows when the light is behind us, right? It's time to change your perspective and turn towards the light. The reality is that the shadow is always going to be there. You can't do anything about that. But there's a choice to make here. I can choose to be led by the shadows, or I can choose to lean into the light. So let's lean together.